Tonight is the first ever Zoom meeting for the students of Sovereign Grace Academy. And currently on our registry on the Sovereign Grace Academy website, we have over 200 students that are registered. But that doesn't mean that there are 200 students that are taking class at any one time. That just means that's how many have come in and either taken a class with us or investigated taking a class with us, and they've registered. Normally, our classes run about 30 to 40 people. When we're doing a live class, we can actually see how many students are there, how many are interacting. And so that's kind of what we would expect. And it's kind of what I was expecting tonight, maybe the size of a normal class. But what tonight is about is to, first of all, to welcome many of you, because I know some of you are new to the program. But it's also an opportunity for me to overview the program, talk about some of the changes that have come to the program, and talk about how you can be successful in charting your path through this thing we call Sovereign Grace Academy. Sovereign Grace Academy began in 2018, and it began as a joint venture with Jacksonville Baptist Theological Seminary. That's the school that I attended and graduated from. And I had the idea of going to the seminary and asking them, since I had my doctorate, if I could begin to teach classes that would be like adjunct classes for them. So people could come to us, take classes, and then those classes would be used for credit with the seminary. Well, they were fine with that, even though they're not Calvinistic. So there was a little bit of issue with the Reformed theology that I had to overcome. But it was fine. There was not negative. It was just we had to talk through some things. And so the first couple of years, we did build Sovereign Grace Academy as an extension of Jacksonville Baptist Theological Seminary. If you were going to that seminary, you could take classes with us, use those classes for credit. But I started noticing right away, nobody was doing that. People just wanted to come take our classes to take our classes. Nobody was going on and doing the seminary classes. And so it kind of quickly, that merger sort of dissolved because no one was doing it. No one was taking advantage of it. But there were people who were taking advantage of our classes, and they were coming and they were faithful. And we have our first two diploma graduates were 2 years later. They started our very first class with us. And they did 4 classes the first year, 2018, 4 classes the second year, 2019. And that was the way it was set up in the beginning. It was 8 core classes. Each class was 8 weeks long, so we considered it a term. And so you had 8 terms. After 8 terms, you would receive a diploma of basic ministry training. Now, we were not in any way trying to bill ourselves as a seminary, and we still don't, even though we use the term seminary for everyone. We're using that in the term of this is higher learning, but we're not offering degree programs. And I don't think that we ever will, because that's just not our lane. If you're interested in a degree, I can help you point you in that direction. But we wanted to provide seminary for people who can't go to seminary. We wanted to provide the experience of seminary for people who just can't. They either can't afford it, or maybe they don't want to be a pastor, but they want the information, they want to learn. So and quite frankly, there's many lay elders who benefit from our material, who, again, they serve in their church, they teach in their church, they're elders in their church, but they don't get to go, they didn't get to go seminary. And that's fine. I mean, so we wanted this to be something that was available for people to be able to enjoy and to learn from. And as I said, Seminary for Everyone was like the beginning, and now that's our email address. If you want to email the seminary or email Sovereign Grace Academy directly, seminaryforeveryone@gmail.com. That's our new email address. And so that's where you should be getting information from us moving forward. That should be where you send your information in, and where we send our information to you. You should be getting it from Sovereign or Seminary for Everyone at gmail.com. And so now, in the last 2.5 years, we've evolved again. because before we were just repeating the same 8 courses. But now we've begun to include some more advanced courses, what we're calling our 200 block. All of our first classes we've aligned calling them our 100 block. Just like college, when you go to college, there's the beginning courses, or 101, 104, things like that. But then when you go to your more advanced, the second, third year, you get the 201, the 301 classes. And so when you go to the website, and we're going to be looking at the website in a minute, when you go into the website, you will see different markings for different classes. And so I want to tell you which classes I want to recommend that you start with. And that's part of what tonight is about, because I know some of you are brand new. You haven't taken even your first class. And I want to give you some thoughts as to the direction I believe that you should go. Also, since we're still sort of in the introduction phase, Brother Andy is here. He's on my screen. He's top left, but I don't know for you guys where he's at. But he's the one hiding in the corner. He just waved his hand. He's one of our teachers. He's an elder at Sovereign Grace Family Church, and he was a pastor in Reformed Baptist churches for 40 years. And he came to us and has served with me for, I think, for eight years as an elder, isn't it, Andy? Something like that. Yeah. And also Miss Janice, if you see her, Miss Janice, wave your hand. Miss Janice is one of our class admins. So she may be one of the people that you deal with when you're sending in your notes, when you're sending in your final project, because those come in through the admins and then they are sent to our instructors to grade, and then you get a grade. So Miss Janice has volunteered. She's a church member at Sovereign Grace Family Church, one of our wonderful people there who's volunteered to help. And there are some others as well. Saddam, you'll see that name. Saddam Al-Qaeda is his name. He's helping me on the back end with a lot of the digital stuff. So you may see that name as well. And there's also a few other people who have volunteered. So if you see a person messaging you, it should say beside their name, it'll say like Janice Morrison, SGA admin, and then you'll know who that person is, and they'll be able to help you. Okay, so let's overview how the program has changed and what's going on right now. Well, as I said, we still operate as a 2-year program with 8 core classes, with a diploma of basic ministry training at the end of that. We've probably graduated about a dozen students now over the last 5 or 6 years. So it hasn't been a ton of people, but I mean it's been a good amount from those first 2 that we had the first 2 years. We've had people continue to come, and we keep all their records on file. We keep all their writings on file. So we know who we have graduated out of the program. But one of the reasons for the 201 class and the 301 classes is because we had people at Sovereign Grace who had already taken the other classes, and they wanted to go deeper. They wanted to have more available. So that's part of the reason why we've started the 201 and the 301 classes, is we want them to be available so that even after you get your diploma, you don't have to stop. If you like what you're doing, if you like the education, and it's not costing you a ton of money, you're just having to buy your books, then this could be an ongoing education program for you. And so that's kind of the way it's set up. We have the first 2 years, and you do those first 2 years, you get your diploma. After that, you're basically, for lack of a better term, you're like alumni. Now you can come and just enjoy, learn more things, suggest classes. We've had students suggest classes that we've done in the past. I did a basic Greek vocabulary class once. That's not on the website because I don't have the videos for it. I just have the audio. And as I was going through it, I think that would be a really hard class to follow if all you had was audio, because you're not looking at the letters and stuff. So I'm thinking of reteaching that class maybe next year. And it's just basic Greek vocabulary. It's not exegesis or syntax, stuff like that. It's just basically becoming familiar with the Greek alphabet, becoming familiar with the Greek words. 90% of the New Testament is made up of about 250 Greek words. If you learn those Greek words, you can at least look at a Greek New Testament and at least be able to work your way through what is it saying and understand what the words are. So that's kind of what that class is for, to introduce you to the Greek vocabulary. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Just say, hey, you mentioned this class. I really want to do that, and we like to provide classes that are helpful for people. All right. So that's the overview of the program. 8 core classes, 2 years to your diploma of basic ministry training. It's not accredited, and we haven't sought out any other seminaries that would take our certificates for credit. There may be some out there, and it never hurts to ask. I mean, if you decide you want to go to GRBC in Arkansas, or you want to go to Founders or something, and you say, hey, I took these classes at Sovereign Grace Academy. Can they give me any credit at all toward my diploma? They may. You never know. I mean, sometimes they give life experience credit. So, I mean, those are always things you can try. And who knows what the future is going to bring with our academy? We don't know. We just know that we believe in what we're doing. We believe the church should be an institution of higher learning. And I don't mean that as a pun, like higher learning. I mean that as the church should be an institution where we are actually educating our people. And so I believe in education. I believe in teaching the Bible. I believe in teaching history. I believe in teaching apologetics. And I believe in doing this as much as God will give us the ability. And He's given us now, ever since COVID, everybody knows how to Zoom call. Everybody knows how to live stream. COVID was a terrible time, but this has been the one thing that sort of has now become ubiquitous because of that. So now we can have students like you all from all around. And in fact, what I want to do right now, just for fun, since there's only about a dozen of you out there, I just want to quickly go through, and I'll unmute you. Introduce yourself to the class. Just tell us who you are and where you're from, and if you've done any classes with us. We'll start with you, Helene. If you, or you may have to unmute yourself. I can't. Yeah, it won't let me.
Hi, I'm Helene Lupa. I live in the Villages, Florida, Central Florida. Okay. And I go to First Baptist Church of Coleman. And I have never taken a class before.
Wonderful. Well, welcome.
Thank you. I've only been in Reformed theology since about 2021. I think 2020 opened my eyes with all the, prophets that got everything wrong.
Sure. We're glad to have you, Helene, for real.
You.
Very thankful to have you. Very thankful.
Thank you. Nice to
Janice,
be here.
I'm going to move on because I introduced you earlier, but I'll come back to you. Andrew?
Sorry, figuring out how to unmute. So my name is Andrew Mills. I live in Ormond Beach, Florida, and attend Riverbend Community Church. And this is my first Sovereign Grace Academy class, so I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Well, it's nice to have you. Robert?
I'm guessing I'm the only Robert on here.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I'm Rob Klaas. I am from Landenberg, Pennsylvania, and I have not taken any classes with you guys before.
Great. A lot of new folks. Praise the Lord. All right, Novelli?
Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Novelli Lima. I'm a member of the Sovereign Grace Family Church, and I've taken my first class was the survey of the New Testament, the Book of Acts, and I've been taking class ever since. And I think this is probably my 5th class, I guess. Yeah.
You've been with us for a while. And it's always good to see a member of the church. So thank you for coming tonight, Novelli.
Sure.
Yes, sir. All right, Adam and Levi.
I'm Adam. This is my son Levi. We are in Carson City, Nevada, so up north by Lake Tahoe. We go to Common Ground Church up here, which is a non-denominational, and haven't taken a class with you guys yet, but interested in doing so. Anything you want to say, bud?
No, that wraps it up.
Well, it's good to have you. It's also good, very good to have a young person. We've had some kids, no, I'd say kids, teenagers, young people from Sovereign Grace who've taken classes and done really well. So it's good to have you. Very good to have you. Also, is that the church in Carson City that I'm going to be at next year?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay, I
Do
may
you
be.
know what you're
I
meeting
don't.
with?
I don't remember the name of the church. I forget. I'm so sorry that I don't remember because I feel bad for not remembering. But
That's
I
right.
will be
No, I think
there.
you did an interview with someone on their book from up here, I believe, right?
That may
I
be
think
the one. Yeah, that
I
may be
think
the one.
that's Grace Church. I think he did a book on Ecclesiastes that you talked with him about that was really good. That's
Well, good deal.
nearby, not
When I come by next year, we'll have to meet. That'd be great.
absolutely. That'd be great.
All right, Edward Estep. Edward, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. You're good.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Eddie Estep. I am from Lothian, Maryland. I go to Friendship Community Church up here, and I have a little bit of Bible training. I grew up in the IFB churches as a bus kid till about maybe 10 years ago, and haven't taken one of your classes yet per se, but you put some of your stuff on Spotify. So your church history stuff, like your church history, I went through and I've gone through I think it is the Skinny book, almost finished the Bruce Skelly book. And you also recommended, along with a couple other friends, the Nick Needham's book, but that's a bigger,
Yeah.
that's a bigger challenge to take on. So that's going to be in sections. But I came to Reformed theology about 2012, 2013 through one of Dr. White's videos, and really because I was along with church history, but the King James only stuff, and then more importantly the Reformed theology and stuff. Because in the IFB movement, it's really frowned upon. It's really frowned upon. So it's like, but came through that through Dr. White's teachings and various others, R.C. Sproul and stuff like that. But just wanting to sharpen up my skills a little bit, and that's pretty much it.
Well, good deal. Well, we're glad to have you. Miss Erica
Thank you, sir.
Ahmad, it's good to see you.
Hi, Pastor Keith. It's great to see you. Hi, Andy. I'm Erica. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and I actually took church history. I guess I would have done like a survey because I didn't do the final exam, but I actually started going to Sovereign Grace as a visitor probably late last year in October. And Pastor Keith is an awesome pastor. Andy is awesome. But now I go to First Baptist in Nocatee. So hi, everybody. I'm excited.
Well, we're glad to have you. And yeah, a lot of people do take our classes just for the information and don't necessarily do the final. And if you do that, you just don't get the certificate. But that's up to you how you want to do that. But
Well, this time I'm going to commit to it because I really wish I would have did all the exams. So yes, I'm excited.
Well, good. Lim?
Hi, my name is Lemuel Cruz. You can call me Lem. And I learned about SGA when I was listening to one of your podcast episodes. And there was a question about seminary options, and you mentioned SGA. So yeah, I'm from the Philippines. I attend Higher Rock Christian Church, and looking forward to all of this.
Wonderful. I've done some podcasts with some guys from the Philippines, so that's great. Miss Amanda and Eli?
Hello. We are in Lebanon, Tennessee. We go to church in Hartsville at Grace Baptist. And I've been hearing about it through your podcast. And I thought, hey, this would be great for him to take for a high school credit and for him to learn more. And then I thought, kind of on a whim, hey, I'll take it too.
Well, great. Good deal. Good deal. Well, I'm glad to have both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Marilda?
Hello, Pastor Keith.
Hi, Marilda.
I live in Menifee, California, and I've taken about 4 or 5 of your classes, and I really enjoy everything I'm learning from you and Andy and the rest of the pastors. And that's about it.
Well, good. Well, we're glad to have you and to see you back for sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Connor?
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Connor Wrigley, Mount Zion, Illinois, about 2 hours east of St. Louis. Never taken a class before. I do a little teaching at our church, Tabernacle Baptist here, so I thought it might be cool. Plus, I just want to, but yep. So yeah, no classes for me, not yet anyway.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Last one, Troy.
Good. Hi. Yeah, my name is Troy. I'm actually from Manhattan, Kansas. I think I go to New Hope Church, which is just a little local church. I think I've taken 3 classes. Just found you on YouTube one day and you were offering courses, and I said, hey, would love to do that. So that's what I do with my evenings.
Yep. And I've seen you in class, so it's good to see your face. Yeah. Well, guys, again, I'm so glad to get a chance to hear all of you. Very quickly, Brother Andy, do you have anything you want to say to the group?
There we go. Hello, everybody. My name's Andy Montoro. I'm from the South, but it's the South Bronx. And I've been with Brother Keith and Brother Mike for, I guess, 9 years. So God saved me in 1978 and pressing on.
Amen. And Miss Janice, did you have any thoughts you wanted to share?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to switch now to looking at the website, and because I want to talk to you about how you register, how you choose a course, and then we're going to talk about what courses I would recommend choosing first, and then how to finish a course. So very quickly, I'm going to pull this up, and if Janice, if you would just unmute yourself and let me know if you can see it, okay? Because I can't see what y'all see. I can only see what I'm seeing. So tell me if it looks okay. I'm not a Zoom expert, so. All right, so y'all should be seeing the website now.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so most of you have already gone to the registration page and you have already put in your registration. Now, for students who may be watching this in the future, because we are recording this, for students who are watching this in the future, if you come to this page and you put in your student registration, you do not immediately have access to the website. It takes sometimes 1 to 2 days for us to get back with you. And the reason why is because this has to be manually inputted. This is why Miss Janice and a few others are coming along to help, because we're getting new students every day. And so this is a way for us to try to do that a little faster. But it's always probably going to be a little bit, it's not going to be like you sign up for Facebook and you immediately have a Facebook account. And the reason for that is it used to be that way. It used to be as soon as you registered, it would automatically give you the account. But we had multiple times we had some spammers come in and just ruin our website because there wasn't enough security. And so now the security is better. And one of our security is we have to see what these answers to these questions are before we let you in. Because sometimes we'll get, like, it'll say, how long have you been a Christian? And it'll say, like, XOXO exclamation point star. It's like, okay, that's not a real person, right? That's that. And so we can see that, and we know we're not going to register that person, even if it has if it's Bob Smith, but what church do you attend? And it's just a bunch of random letters, then we know it's not a real person. So that's part of what we're doing, Janice, on our side, is we're making sure that all of our students are real, and nobody's trying to scam the site. Over here, you'll see who the instructors are. This is me, of course, and then that's Dr. Bert Jordan. He is a former seminary professor. Now he's a member of our church, and he helps teach classes for us. This is Elder Mike Collier. He's been with us for him and Andy were ordained or called as elders at the same time. So they both elders for about 9 years. And then there's Brother Andy, who you just heard from. Right here is your profile. If you click on this, I would have to sign in. In fact, I'll go ahead and sign in real quick. All right, so this, because I'm a teacher, mine looks a little bit different than yours, but this will tell you your total courses and different things like that. This is the most important page you're going to come to, and that's the all courses page. The all courses page has right now 11 classes that you can choose from. And, what's that? Did somebody say? Okay. 11 classes that you can choose from. And some of these literally just got put up this week. But they were recorded a while back. Some of it you'll notice, you're like, man, Keith, you look different. Yeah, a couple of years ago, like my beard wasn't as gray. So you'll be watching the class and it's like, hey, it's a younger version. But the way that the 8 core classes works is we recommend that you would start with our survey classes, which are our Old Testament survey and our New Testament survey classes. These are the OT 100 and New NT 100. And these give you an overview of all the 39 books of the Old Testament and all of the 27 books of the New Testament. So both of these are the ones we recommend that you would start with. If you choose not to, that's up to you. But these classes really lay the foundation for everything else. After that, a survey of the Bible doctrines is a very good class to take. This is the core theology, and it deals with, and I'll take you, if you click on it, it'll show you what's in the class. It deals with everything from the Trinity, anthropology, Christology, the doctrine of the Holy Spirit, soteriology, 5 points of Calvinism, eschatology and the eternal state. And this is what a class looks like when you click on it. So when you click on a class, you'll see a button that says curriculum. We'll talk about that in a moment. On these classes, you'll have a little video here. I'm not going to play it, but this video kind of walks you through how to take a class. So sort of what I'm doing right now. You're going to read the overview and objectives. You're going to purchase your required text. You probably already have a Bible, but then the required text for this is Everyone's a Theologian by R.C. Sproul. You will have reading assignments, and you will have your reading assignments, and you will have your notebook assignment. Now, your notebook is that when you are watching the videos and when you are reading the book, you should be taking notes. You should have your book in one hand and your notepad in the other hand. You should be at least making notes of what you've read. And that notebook is for you. I still have notebooks from when I was in seminary. I keep them on a shelf, and I can go back and look at some of the notes I took when I was in my classes. So that's the notebook is ultimately for you and for your benefit, but it is part of your grade. In this class, there is a final research project. The final research project is critical because it's half your grade. If you don't do it, you don't get the certificate. If you do it and you do it and it's not great, your other things can help. Maybe you just struggled with it. Your reading assignment, your notebook assignment can help. But ultimately, if you don't do the final research at all, you're not going to pass. This for this class. Each student will choose one doctrine to research, explain, and defend. The paper should include one relevant biblical citations, 2 references to important historical disputes, and 3, a comparison of denominational positions. This tells you how we want it formatted, and this tells you what the front page should look like. Course title number, just like college, student name, instructor name. And if you have 2 instructors, like sometimes Brother Andy and I teach together, sometimes you'll have Brother Bert, Brother Mike, you just put both names on the front. And then you go down here, and if you click on this first link, it takes you immediately over to the class. This class is audio, but it's fine. Having this class in audio is not a problem. Some of these, it works fine. Many of them are video, but some of these are audio. So you do the video, and then you read the reading assignment. You do the video, and then you read the reading assignment. This is literally just go down the list, check it off as you go. Once you are finished with this course, after you've watched all the videos, after you've taken all the notes, after you've completed the required reading, you follow these steps. Number 1, you I don't know why it says when your project is complete. That's actually a typo. I apologize. When you have that should say, and I'll go back and fix it. That should say when you've finished watching the videos and taking your notes, you are going to send an email to Seminary for Everyone. Wait a minute. This is I need to fix this, and I apologize. Basically, let me explain what's going to happen. You're going to send us an email and let us know that you have finished watching the videos and that you are now beginning your project. You have 4 weeks to finish your project. Once you've watched the videos and done your notebook, you have 4 weeks to finish the project. And so you're going to send us an email letting us know that you're commencing on your project, and you're going to send us a single picture from your notebook. You don't have to send us a picture of every page, because that would just be too much. But you send us a single picture showing us that you took notes and showing us the format that your notes are in. It's a simple thing to do, but it helps us keep you. Most of what we do with that kind of stuff is on the honor system, but it does keep you. You have to show us that you did it. You have to show us that you did the notebook. So again, the way that it's going to work, you'll watch the videos, you'll read the textbook, and when you're finished with that, you send us a commencement email. I'm starting my final project, and here's my notebook. We will then start the clock. It's 4 weeks from that point. You have to finish your project. And when your project is finished, and you send it in, one of our professors will grade it, and then you will receive a certificate if you receive a 70 or above. 70 or above is passing. So, and basically you say, well, how do I get graded on my paper? Your paper is graded according to those things that were required. You have to have all those things in there. If you're missing things, you're going to lose points. So go back and look at what is required for that paper. Now let me show you one of the other courses, because they're not all the same. These top ones are the same. They all require a paper and it's 3 to 5 pages. So it's not incredibly hard. But if you've not written in a while, if you haven't been in school in a while, 3 to 5 pages can be a lot. So, but those are all writing classes. These are writing classes, but biblical law and ethics, this particular class has a final exam. Now there's still an essay in the final exam, but I want to show you what's different. If you click on this class, you go over here, you'll notice if you go down, the reading assignments are here. These are all the reading assignments for the weeks. And we expect each class to take you about 8 weeks. That's it. That's the expectation. The reading assignments are all here, but you'll notice there's no links to the videos. And the reason why is in this particular class, it's under curriculum. And that's why I said some of them are this way and some of them are not. So if you have trouble, just if you don't find the links, go look under curriculum. And what's good about this class is we give you something these are newer classes, so we've learned some and we've gotten better. And so that's why this is the way that it is. If you click on this first class, not only do you see the video is right here, so you just watch it, but also here is a set of notes from the class, from the professor, that you can copy and print and put in your notebook. So these classes, again, we've been doing this for now 8 years, 7 years. We've gotten better as we've gone along. And this is one of our more recent classes. So again, if you, my recommendation is to start out with the survey classes, Old Testament and New Testament. But let's say you did decide, hey, I want to start with, because it interests me, I want to start with Introduction to Biblical Law and Ethics. Just make sure you understand where you're going to get your videos. Same way with this. This was a class that Brother Bert and Brother Andy taught. This is the survey of the Book of Acts. Now, this is a history class, but this is a History 201 class, because this particular class is diving deeper into the Book of Acts. It's 8 weeks on the Book of Acts. And so you go here, you'll look and see there's the reading assignments, which come out of the for this class, you have to purchase a commentary, the Believer's Bible Commentary. And you'll go up here, click on curriculum. There's week 1. This is Brother Andy and Brother Bert teaching. This is Pastor Andy Montoro right there. And if you clicked on the video, he would be up there. Now, this one doesn't have notes. We didn't do that for this class. So not every class is exactly the same. And probably the most difficult part is going to be this. Some classes, I'm going to mention handouts, but those are only for in the class. We don't have the ability to do the handouts, and they're not necessary. The handouts are just helps. As long as you're listening to the lectures and taking notes, the handouts are just helpful, but they're not absolutely essential. So going back to our main page here, going to our all courses. If I were starting out, if I were y'all, the guys who've never taken a class, I would choose the survey classes, one of these, and then I would probably do the survey of Bible doctrine, how to study the Bible. This one is very important. And I taught this with Mike Collier. This is a very good class. So these classes, the doctrine, and this is hermeneutics. So you have Old Testament, New Testament, hermeneutics, and survey of doctrine. That's a great first year. That's a great way to introduce yourself to the most basic principles. And then the second year, if I were going to start again and start over, the second year, I would say to go to Biblical Law and Ethics right here. And I would do that class. I would do apologetics. Now, you have 2 choices for apologetics. You'll notice there's Apologetics 101 and APO 202. That's still apologetics. But this is a 202 class. So can you do a 202 class instead of the 101 class? Yes, you can. It depends on how depends on you. But this class is a deep dive into how we got the Bible. That's what this is. This is a deep dive into where the Bible came from. This is an overview of John Frame's book on apologetics. And Dr. Frame teaches for RTS. And so this is more basic apologetics, looking at apologetics from a presuppositional perspective, but also examining the classical and the evidential perspectives as well. Now, we have, as I said, we have the other classes. We have this Bible doctrine class here was taught by Bert, and I think Mike and Bert taught that class, if I remember. I may be wrong. It might be Mike and Bert and Andy, but Bert was the teacher there. And that particular class on doctrine is only on the doctrine of revelation and the doctrine of God. So it's again, it's a deeper dive. If you go up to this survey, this looks at all the doctrines at a 30,000 foot view. If you go to this class, it's going to look at Bible doctrines in more of a narrow view. So we have quite a bit to choose from. We have quite a bit for you to go over. And if you ever have questions, you send your questions to seminary for everyone at gmail.com, and I'll make sure to the best of my abilities that either myself or one of our admins will get back to you as soon as we can. I think that's everything for the website. Let me check my notes here. Okay, let me show you one last thing. If you let's say you take Biblical Law and Ethics, and you're taking this class and you get to class 4. This class has a midterm quiz. So it's right here. Here's the link for the midterm quiz. You click on it, put in your name. I'll just put test. Can't spell it today, sorry. Test, and you click start. Now you're taking the midterm quiz. It's only 9 questions. but that will give you a grade which will go towards your final grade in this particular class. And at the end of this class, going back, at the end of this particular class, it's taking a second, sorry. Well, let's see, maybe I need to, oh, here we go. At the end of this particular class, you have your final right here. Oh, wait, sorry. Click on the 8th class. Now, I'm in the video, but I'm not teaching. I'm just explaining the final. Wait a minute. No, I am. I taught that class. I'm sorry. Andy and I taught that together. But biblical law and ethics, you go here and right there, final exam link. You click on that and it'll take you to your final exam. So everything's on these newer ones, that everything's in the curriculum. All right. That was a lot to get through. And I know some of your heads may be spinning. So I recorded this so you could go back and watch it again. But let's quickly go back into our conversation and let's answer some questions. I saw some of you type in some questions, so let me quickly go up and start answering some of these questions. First of all, someone said, do the notes have to be handwritten or can they be typed? Either way, if you type out your notes on an iPad or a computer, you can just send me a PDF of your notes if they're typed, and then you can just send all your notes. I mean, because they're usually in one file. But the reason why I say take a picture is for people who handwrite notes. They take a picture and they send us a picture because it's hard to scan, 20 pages of notes. And we don't want people to have to do that. So if you're handwriting them, you send us a picture. If you're typing them, just send the whole thing to us. Connor asked, would you recommend starting with Old Testament for a New Testament class or New Testament over Old Testament? It's a personal preference, Connor. Honestly, my preference would probably be Old Testament first, just because it lays the foundation for the New Testament. But both of the classes point back to each other in some ways. So as you're learning the Old Testament classes, you're going through the survey, there's one of the classes at the end is Christ in the Old Testament. And that's an Old Testament class, but it's still looking at the New Testament. So either one would be fine to take. So whatever you prefer would be good. And Andrew said, if I registered for a class but would like to take another class instead, can I unenroll? You can, but here's the thing, Andrew, you really don't have to, because once you're registered, your timetable doesn't start until you send us your message about finishing. So if you just want to set that class to the side and let it just be that you're registered for it, but you're not starting it, that's not going to hurt anything. So you can register for all the classes and just do them as, but that may be a little confusing. But if you've already registered for one and chosen to take another, that's not a problem. Mario asked the question, did we get your essay from the Doctrine of the Bible class? Yes, I did, Mario. And I want to apologize that I have not graded it yet. But here's the situation. I am, as you can tell, my throat is still hurting. And I'm actually quite sick today. I didn't even go to Set Free today because I wasn't feeling well, but I didn't want to not do this. So I'm pushing through tonight, but I promise you by next week, I'll get you your final grade and your certificate. This is one of those things where, like Miss Janice, I may walk you through Mario's thing so you see how we make certificates and stuff. So that'll be good, because that's the next process for the admins is once you know all the materials there and they've got a passing grade, you can just send them their certificate. And the certificates are digital. They come in a PDF. I'm actually looking into some professional certificates. Professional certificates have a digital ID, which can be used on things like your LinkedIn page. So like, if you have a LinkedIn page that has your professional certificates on it, you can use digital certificates to show that you've taken classes and you've earned things. And so I'm working on that, but we don't have those yet. But if that happens, I'm talking to Saddam about it. If that happens, that's going to be that's going to be kind of a cool game changer, because now each one of your certificates will be like, you've earned this certificate in this thing, and it's got a digital ID, which takes it back. So I just think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. All right. Elena says, will we have access to these courses right now, or do we have to create a profile first? If you haven't created a profile, Helene, then you'll need to do that. But I think you may already have one, because didn't I send you an email for this class? If I did. Okay, I don't know if you did you get your email when I sent it out, Helene? Thumb up or thumb down? Okay. Well, while Helene's doing that, I'm going to answer Adam and Levi's question. Would you recommend the recorded Old Testament survey before taking a live class? That is completely up to you. And I was actually going to bring up the live class, Adam. This is something I'm like struggling in my heart about, right? Because I do think taking the survey classes are great places to start. But I also think being in a live class that's going on every week is fun and good, and it's a way to connect, because the students online actually talk to each other during the class, because it's just like this. It's going out on live stream, and the students are asking each other questions. And so I think there's a good benefit in that, and it kind of creates a little community. So if you wanted to start with the Intro to Church Life and Ministry, or not Intro to Church Life and Ministry, the next upcoming class would actually be Spiritual Gifts. That's our next class. It is an extension of Church Life and Ministry, but this one's focusing on specifically spiritual gifts. And in fact, I'm going to send you all right now I'm going to send you, if everybody can see the messages over here, here is a link to the syllabus. This class begins on the first Wednesday in September. This class, and that's the syllabus for the class. So if you click on that link, you'll know what you need, the book that you need, and when the classes are, and all the dates. So that's all there and available for you. And here's the thing, you can do more than one class at a time if you want. If you have the mental bandwidth. When I was in seminary, I did 4 classes at a time, but I was doing it full time. I mean, I was taking 4 classes a semester, and I was there multiple times per week. I'm fine if you want to do more than one. I just know this. It's the original plan was that it would take 2 years, 8 classes over 2 years. But if you did 2 classes at a time, you could theoretically do all the classes in 1 year. The issue is doing the material and doing the work and getting the work done. How you do it is up to you. We're not gonna keep you from doing it if you have that kind of drive and desire. All right. Let's see.
Pastor Keith, I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Novelli. Ask your question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I'm participating in the meeting through the phone, so I'm not seeing you guys. I can ask question on our website, so I have to just unmute me and ask a question. So
no problem. No problem.
So far, we got some class here that doesn't have progress, and I'm so sorry if I didn't understand or I missed out some parts that you have already explained. I do apologize for that. So let's say for now I'm taking apologetics class, and how do I track my progress? Because so far we have, like, for example, 8 lessons in a class, and every time you finish the video, you automatically have your progress saved. But right now I'm being watching the videos, but I don't see the progress. Do I have to send my message to Janice and say, hey, I already finished the videos? Because actually I'm not even taking the completion of the course as for example, sending notes or having the grades, just watching the lessons. In my case, how does that work?
Okay, so one of the things that, and this is one of those, the website has like class progression, but we don't use all of the tools of the website because some of it's kind of complicated. The program that we have for the website is actually made for colleges, and we don't make use of everything. So you are responsible for keeping progress, and this is part of what your notebook is for. So when you look at the list of videos, right? When you go into class, let me pull it back up here. When you go into class, and I don't know if you can see this. I think you can. Hold on, that's the actual back end. Here's the website. Okay. When you go to a course like Survey of the Old Testament, because I know a lot of people are probably going to take this one. You watch this little video and it'll explain everything I'm saying again. This is your overview and your objectives. Right here is your required texts. For this one, you have the Believer's Bible Commentary. We also recommend charts of the Old Testament. That's where our handouts come from. And Rowe's Book of Bible Charts, that's where some of our other handouts come from. So if you're like, well, we don't have the handouts, well, you have to buy the book if you want the handouts, because we can print them out and give them out in class, but I can't print them out and put them online because they allow you to give them out in class, but not to post them online. I don't want to do anything that would cause a copyright issue. Your reading assignments you do along with your videos, and then your final project comes later. So here's your course videos. It says class 1. So what I would do, if I have my notebook, I would take my notebook and I would write class 1, video 1, Introduction to the Old Testament Canon. I would watch the video, I would listen to it, and I would take my notes. And then when I'm done with that, I would do the reading assignment. I would then go to class 2, and in my notes, I would say class 2, Survey the Pentateuch, and I would take my notes. So your notebook is your progress. Okay? Your notebook keeps you in progress until you get down to the last class, which is the Survey of Intertestamental Period, and your final reading assignment. And that's the point where you would email us and say, I've finished my notes, I've finished my reading, I'm ready for my final exam or my final project. Does that make sense, Novelli?
Yeah, yes, it does make sense. It's just because of my case, I'm not having grades. I'm not taking the assignments, the assessments, and just that will be my question. In that
Okay,
case,
so you're not doing the assignments to get certificates?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, well then if
But
I
I'm
were
watching
you,
the
if I
class.
if I weren't worried about getting the certificate, I would just make sure I watch all the videos. That's all. I mean, because that's what you're trying to
Oh,
get is the
okay.
information. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yes.
The only reason why we need to know that you've seen all the videos and read all the materials is because we're providing a certificate that says you did that, right? And
Oh, okay.
that's if we're not giving you a certificate, then it's up to you what you do with it.
Okay. Got it. All right. Thank you.
All right. No, absolutely. Very good. Let's go back up here. I know Helene had a question about you have to create a profile. If you signed into the website, Helene, and you're able to get in, then you should be able to go ahead and register for a course. If you haven't done that yet, then you would need to go to this button right here, which says register. When you click on register, it gives you a student registration. All right. That's where, and that takes me about 1 to 2 days to get you registered. And once you're registered, you can log in.
Okay. So now that I figured out how to unmute, so I went to the screen to the login. I put in my name and a password, which I don't remember setting up a password before, but maybe I had to do that on the register part.
Well, you should have gotten an email back once you did the registration. When I put you in the system, it sends you an email back with a temporary password that you have to change. So you should have an email.
Get an email. The only email I got was for the Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay. Well, do me a favor, Helene. When we're done tonight, send me an email at seminaryforeveryone@gmail.com. I will make sure you are registered, and I will make sure you get that email so you can set your own password and get going.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. That's everything I had on my agenda to walk you all through. I would like to take now a couple minutes. If anybody has any final questions to ask, this is the time to ask. And please join us if you decide you want to do the live class 2 weeks on Wednesday night. You can do that. But again, like I said, if you're thinking about the 2-year program, I definitely think the Old Testament, New Testament classes are great classes to start with. So I know that sounds like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. I don't mean to. I'm just saying if you decide you want to do the live class first because you want to be involved with the live class, that's great. But the 2-year program, I definitely want you to do those survey classes at some point. You don't have to do them right away, but at some point, that's the foundation. And if you don't have the foundation, then some of the other things that we teach that are building on that foundation, it's sort of like when you go to 10th grade, they expect you to know what you learned in 8th grade. So it's kind of the same thing. There's some foundations that we give. All right, Eddie?
Yeah, real quick on the so like say for example, I'm taking Bible doctrines. I noticed in the course curriculum, the recommended book was Everybody's a Theologian by R.C. Sproul, but you had 2 other books. So are we supposed to have all 3 books for the?
I lost your sound there at the end, but I understand what you asked me. You cut off at the end, but let me. I think what you're asking is, do you have to get the other 2 books? Is that what you're asking me? Oh, I think he's frozen. Or did everybody freeze?
I think just Eddie.
Okay. Well, let me answer Eddie's question. When you look at a syllabus, in the syllabus it will say course textbook, and that's where all your readings come from. But it also will have 1 or 2 recommended readings. Those go along with the subject of the class, but they're not required. And so it is just recommended. If you're studying this subject, here's 2 more books that we recommend. Now, the one where I said that the handouts come out of that one you may want to invest in because those books are just books of charts and stuff. But in general, that's a choice. It's not a have to. You have to have the textbook to complete the class, but you don't have to have the recommended reading, the additional reading.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? By the way, I just love the fact that Troy's holding a baby throughout all of this, and that's wonderful. Congratulations, brother. That's a blessing.
Yeah. Question about the live classes as far as the time frame. I believe you said they start 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, right?
6:30 actually.
6:30. Okay. And are they usually about an hour and a half? Is that kind of?
It's an hour and a half, and there's a 5-minute break at the hour mark because some of our church members don't do the academy, but this is their Wednesday night. Like they come on Wednesday night and study. So we break at 5 so that people who want to leave can, and then we do an additional 25 minutes for people who are doing the academy course. So it's an hour and a half for academy students. It's an hour for church members.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys.
I have a question, Pastor.
Yes, Miss Erica.
Really, I think you already answered this, so I apologize. So this is self-paced. As far as even throughout the particular course is self-paced, it's just 4 weeks from the time we do the final exam, the written assignment. Is that what that is?
Yes, ma'am. And that just forces you to have to do the research in a specific amount of time. Yes. So you might take 10 weeks to do all the videos. You might do it in 5 weeks. But when you send us in your commencement email and you say, I'm ready to roll, I'm ready to do my final, that starts the clock. Okay. And you could be dishonest. You could do your final and then let us know, and then you don't have a clock. But the idea is just like in seminary or college, there's a limit. You know, you want to do it in a specific amount of time, and 4 weeks is a pretty long time.
It is
to write a 3 to 5 page paper, but or to do a 50 to 75 question 50 to 75 question final with an essay. And that's the difference. You're going to see one, it's either going to be a final, which will be anywhere from 25 to 50 to 75 questions, depending on the class. And then it'll ask you to write an essay, or you will have a 3 to 5 page paper, research paper, which does require at least 2 scholarly sources. If you haven't written a paper since high school or college, and this is something that it's just not something that's on your radar right now, and you feel a little intimidated, let me just recommend to go onto YouTube and look up some videos on how to write a research paper. There's all kinds of good tutorials out there. And eventually I may make a tutorial video for our students as to what we're looking for. The most important thing, we're not looking for you guys to be Joel Beakey, right? That's not it. We want to make sure that you've understood the material and that you stay within the parameters that's required for the paper. So if the paper asks you to write about a Bible doctrine, to defend it with scripture, and to explain how different denominations believe, and you don't include all 3 of those things, and that's going to be a mark off, right? That's going to take a percentage off. And or if you do a paper that's about if you talk about history and you're supposed to be talking about doctrine, well, that's going to be an issue, and we're going to get back with you because we're asking you to do something very specific. And if you have any questions, ask us before you do all the work, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help.
Hey, Pastor,
all right.
I got another question.
Yes, sir. Hit me with it.
Okay, so in a course, let me see here. Course hermeneutics, about hermeneutics, second class, when Mike explains about anachronism chapter part 2. When he goes to the break, doesn't have a second part. When he comes back from the break, the video ends right there after at the break's mark. So is there any way to upload the second part of that second class?
The second part is there. Let me very quickly show you. Okay, can you see on your phone? Even though we can't see you, can you see?
No, I'm doing like a phone call. But
that's
I can't
fine.
see it on my iPad here.
But okay, so let me just show you, because that particular class, if you go to hermeneutics, where is it at here? Here it is. Okay, you click on that class. All right, and you click on. Here it is. Chapter Part 3, Class 3B, continuing after the break. See that? Because Mike accidentally stopped the recording.
Oh.
He's supposed to let it record through the break. That way it's all one file. And he on that particular one, he accidentally stopped it, so we had to start it again. So it's right there. It's just the next thing down.
Okay,
yeah.
So the class 3B is a continuation of the class 2.
Yeah, just like it says right there. And, and that we try to do the whole class as one file. That way you only have one thing to click on. But there will be times where you have to jump ahead. I mean, there's a 5 to 10 minute break. You're going to have to, just fast forward. But that particular class, it's broken up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The apologetics class is like that. Let me show you guys. We got to finish up because we're running out of time. Zoom, I don't know why Zoom is limiting my time, but we're going to get done here soon. But let me very quickly show you one other thing, because this is interesting. If you go to our apologetics class, you go to the apologetics class that I taught with Dr. Frame's book right here. Every one of the classes, the second part is a second video. So it's class 1, Introduction to Apologetics, and then it's discussing the reading assignment. Class 2, the myth of neutrality, then discussing the reading assignment. Class 3, the noetic effect of the fall, then discuss. So each one of those, it's the first hour and then a break and then a 20-minute addition. So just look for that when you're looking at the videos. If the class doesn't last an hour and a half when you're watching it, there's probably 2 video links there. Simple enough? Okay, good. All right, guys, like I said, we're down to very little time. I don't know why. I don't use Zoom hardly ever. And I guess what I pay for only gave us an hour. So we're gonna get ready to log out. Is there any final questions or any thoughts that you guys have? Was this helpful?
Very much. Thank you, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience with my voice. Remember, if you have a subject you'd like for us to do in the future, we are open to that as long as it's something we feel like we have the ability to do. So send an email in. Also, if you think that Greek course would be good for us to redo, let me know, because if you're interested in learning basic Greek vocabulary, that's a fun class, because the way we teach it is literally like teaching kids how to learn the alphabet and stuff. It's a fun class, but it's really good. If you use things like concordances and stuff that have Greek words in them, it's good to know the alphabet. It's good to know the words. So so if you think that's something you're interested in, definitely let us know, and we can redo that class next year maybe. All right, guys. Well, Brother Andy, thank you for coming tonight and watching over us with your wisdom. I appreciate you and love you. I want to tell everybody how much I'm thankful to serve with you, and I appreciate you, brother. And Miss Janice, thank you for watching over us too. Go ahead, Andy. You said you look like you Go ahead.
I just want to ask everybody to enjoy the courses, and also want to thank Brother Keith, because he really is the architect behind it all, and he has spent many hours putting this thing together. So I do wish the Lord would bless you and bless your study, and again, just thanks to Brother Keith for all his efforts.
Well, thank you, brother. And I look forward to having all of you in class, reading your papers and giving you feedback. And may God bless us as we continue to study His Word together. So God bless you all.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
You're welcome.